Hello everyone, Ben here. Now, we've all been there, right? You end up racing the same cars at largely the same tracks over and over again. So this is a new series to perhaps give you some ideas of things you could be racing in RaceRoom, but perhaps at the minute don't. There's going to be a big focus on some of the 80s and 90s content in the sim, and we're starting today with the 1992 DTM series. We're in the yellow and black Opel, and we're racing at Zolder, which hosted the first race of the 1992 season. We're up against the AI today, not online, and the difficulty set around 105. And straight away, just through this first set of corners, you get a sense of just how good the racing is going to be in these cars. Like all classic touring cars, they can be a bit of a handful, and we'll talk a bit more about that as we go, but they're also just so much fun. The chances are if you've bought any of the content packs for RaceRoom, you do own at least one of these cars, but the extent to which you've ever really driven them probably varies, particularly as the ranked servers tend to focus more on the more user-friendly cars like the GT3s or the Audi TTs. But these cars are an absolute blast. As you can see now, as we dive into the chicane, the second chicane for the first time, and we're going side by side with cars. We've actually made up a few spots off the start, but you know these cars really do encourage elbows out. Side by side racing as we nearly lose it over the crest of the hill there, just about catch a little slide there. We go around the hairpin towards the end of the lap for the first time. The great thing is that the whole series is represented in the sim, and with Championship mode, you can knock together a pretty good recreation of the 1992 season, where tracks like Zolder, Norris Ring, Nürburgring all featured, and you can use a bit of creative license to then include some of the other German tracks in the sim, whether it's Sachsenring or Blisterberg. And if you include a couple of short races per venue, you've got yourself hours of fun reliving the kind of glory days of DTM in the early 1990s. We're now into lap 2 of this race, and I suppose what this video is also giving you a bit of a sense of is just how good the AI can be in RaceRoom as well. It'll never be as unpredictable as a human competitor, but there's plenty of good side-by-side action. The odd mistake, as well as AI cars run wide or just get it slightly wrong into braking zones, and you never feel like you're kind of being crowded out off the track or kind of unfairly treated by the AI. Let's talk a little bit about the cars now. So I'm mainly going to be focusing on the Opel Omega, which is what I'm driving here. But there are 5 cars across the pack, all represented from the 1992 season. And they do take a little bit of getting used to. Certainly coming out of racing GT3s at Daytona, I had to kind of relearn how to gently apply the throttle rather than just mashing the pedal, as we're now about to come across a pretty big accident. Actually, we go steamrolling in to a BMW who had got it slightly wrong there. We managed to get away with not so much damage, just a little bit of aerodynamics. As you can see, the bonnet is a bit crumpled. Anyway, they do pack a punch. They reach top speeds around 300 kilometers an hour. So if you're not gentle on your inputs, they will send you around and you'll be facing in the wrong direction. But I suppose something I would encourage is don't be put off by a difficult first 10 minutes in a new car. There's loads of videos out there about how you can bed into a new car or track, but the key thing I find is to not quit early on. You know, this is about the third time I've attempted this video as I ironed out some small but at times fairly fatal mistakes. But I'm just so glad that I persevered. What else? The handling has a tendency towards oversteer, I find. So I'm running the default setup, and particularly in some of the longer sweeping corners here at Zolder, it's a tricky balancing act to get the nose turned in but not overdo it. They're pretty twitchy going through the hills as well. You get a kind of floatiness in the wheel as you come over a crest, and I find that simulated really well in RaceRoom. So all in all, really, really good fun. We're coming around now to the kind of final stages of this race, and we're finding ourselves in a battle with the top 3 now in order to try and get on the podium, which, given we started down at 15th, is pretty good going. So we're going to now try and just muscle our way past the cars ahead. We just about keep out of another accident as we try to get on the brakes, just probably a little bit too late in that instance, and we're coming round now onto the final lap of this race. You can see the two cars up ahead are scrapping themselves. They're going to go side by side. Nice to see the AI do that. Our car is looking pretty beat up, but we're still going and pretty much at full speed. We're coming now round into the long right-hander. The BMW running slightly wide there, but he manages to keep it just about on track. We're going to come under a bit of pressure, I think, from behind. We're not as quick as the other cars through this first part of the track. I didn't get that mastered really in my time with this car recording this race. But we're coming now down into the first chicane. The guy up ahead, he looks to have a little look down the inside, and he's gonna pay the price for that because he had a bad line through the corner. We get a better line, so now we're shaping up a move into the second chicane here as we come around into it. We're going to go around the outside, but the outside will become the inside. He sort of chickens out of it in the end. He gets a bit safe on the brakes, and we make that relatively easily past him. We're coming now into the final bit of this lap, and just to say again, I can't encourage you enough to just give these cars a bit of a go. Hopefully we'll see them appear on the ranked servers in the weeks ahead, because there's some fantastic racing to be had here. I'm definitely going to keep having a regular play with them offline, if not online, because they're just an absolute blast. We're coming through then into the final couple of corners. We're not going to make a final place up and take the win. We're going to have to settle for second place, but I'm alright with that. It's been a great race, fighting our way through the pack, and there we are, the DTM 1992 at Zolder. A fantastic car to try something a bit different. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more sim racing content. I'll see you next time.